25 years ago, there is a defining moment of something special that happened this year. It would be something that was promised 25 years ago. 25 years ago, in the waning days of Gorbachev, right before the beginning of the Yeltsin era in Russia, the Rebbe was asked if we could make a Kinus Hashluchim for the European Shluchim in Russia. And the Rebbe responded that if everyone will be able to get a visa, we could do it. It was done at the period of time right before the yahrzeit of the Rebbe's Holy Father, whose tzion is in Alma-Ata, Kazakhstan. And we were about 130 shluchim that came together. And we started in Moscow. And I have to tell you that I was so overwhelmed. We arrived in the airport in Moscow then, and we heard in 3 languages, Brokim habayim shlukei Rebbe mi Lubavitch, welcome the shluchim, the emissaries of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, who came for the 3rd European Conference. It was said in Russian, in English, and in Hebrew. Anyone wishes to meet the shluchim can do so after they go through customs. They gave us the Lenin Party Communist Hall with a big bust of Lenin behind us to talk about how Torah and Yiddishkeit should be alive in Europe. We traveled by bus, 3 or 4 buses to Lubavitch, which at that time was the largest crowd of Hasidic Jews that returned to Lubavitch after the 5th Rebbe, the Rebbe Rashab, had to leave because of the war in 1917. We had a Shabbos, and there are so many memories that come back, but the atmosphere was such. 3 of the oldest shluchim, Rab Shlomo Matasov, Olav HaShalom, may he rest in peace, who was the shliach in Morocco, Rabbi Nissen Pinson from Tunis, Rabbi Hillel Pevsner from France. I get a knock on my door, Shabbos in the morning. A frantic knock, and they said, come down and come down now. They're going to kill you. I said, who's going to kill me? He says, those 3 old Hasidim. I said, what did I do? I came running down. They were hiding in a broom closet. These Hasidim were taken to prison from the Marina Russia synagogue. And I opened the door and they started to scream at me, you lied to us. Go outside. There's 100 policemen standing there. They came to take us all away. They're going to send us all to Siberia. I went outside and I see there are 100 policemen, but the policeman was a mishtara shel kavod, was an honor guard that was going to walk the shluchim from the Maladiyozhna Hotel to the Marina Russia synagogue. I told them, don't worry. They said, I don't believe you. I said, I'll go first. If they arrest anyone, they'll take me. Don't worry about yourself. I'll tell them you don't exist. But that was the atmosphere that there was. When we arrived back from Alma-Ata, when we prayed at the tzion of the Rebbe's father, I received a call from the Rebbe's secretary, Rabbi Yehuda Krinsky, and we had closed the Kinus in Alma-Ata, that the Rebbe said we should visit the birthplace of Lubavitch, Liyozhna and Liadi. everyone had already disbanded. And I came back to New York the next day, and I wrote the Rebbe, and I said, there will come a time when we will fulfill that request. 25 years later, we capped it at 510 shluchim because that's all that would fit into the 747 jumbo jet, which we rented to go to Almaty. 510 shluchim descended upon Moscow, and it was the largest crowd. We went to Lubavitch, and then we flew to Almaty, thanks to the generosity of Rabbi Avram Yisrael Schulzen, who took care of the plane. And then we had sessions in Moscow. And I was with the Shluchim from Russia. And you have to see the contrast to believe this. When we were there 25 years ago, there were 4 Shluchim in the former Soviet Union, which was then the Soviet Union. Today, there are 362 Shluchim in the former Soviet Union. Where there were 4 Chabad houses, today there are 287. Where there were 6 schools, today there are 132. Where there were 140 students, today there are 14,720 students learning in Russia and in the Ukraine and in Azerbaijan and in Uzbekistan and throughout the length and breadth of the Soviet Union. And this is not only the Soviet Union. Saw the growth of how many shluchim there were in Europe then. At that period of time, there were about 120. Today, there are over 790 shluchim in Europe. And this is the fulfillment of Ufaratsta Yoma V'Kedma Tzafeina V'Negba. We are today in the smallest of towns. There are thousands of young men and women, couples, shluchim, that have one request. Give me a community with 500 people. I am ready to move out to the farthest corners of the world. I am not looking for grandeur. I'm not looking to become rich. Each one of these shluchim, and there are 4,500 shluchim around the world today that are giving their lives, that could have been in commerce, that could have been in business, that could have been doctors, that could have been lawyers, that could have been pulpit rabbis. And they go out in the world for one reason, to fulfill the mission that the Rebbe entrusted us with, to make this world a world of goodness and kindness, to better this world, to bring Torah and mitzvahs to each and every Jew, to reach out to each and every non-Jew, with the 7 Noahide laws, and to see that they should also have everything that they need. And this is only because the Rebbe instilled in us, and instilled in the Shluchim, and instilled in the Chassidim, the desire to make this world the world that it could be and should be, to be able to greet Mashiach. So